Once again, joining us, Indiana, after the 82-53 loss to St. Mary's. With us in the postgame press conference is head coach Mike Woodson, along with student athletes Jordan Geronimo and Trayce Jackson Davis. Coach, will begin with an opening statement from you.
Well, you got to give St. Mary's a lot of credit. I have nothing but love and respect for Coach Bennett. I thought his team really competed at a much higher level than we did tonight, and just means we got to go back and get busy this summer and get better. But it was a great run for our ball club this season, getting back into the big dance, and now we gotta build on it for the future. That's what it's all about at this point.
Right here in front.
Dustin DePierac, Bloomington Herald-Times. Trayce, Jordan, obviously you guys, we asked a whole bunch of questions yesterday about travel and tired legs and everything like that. Obviously at the time you didn't want to talk too much about that, but after having been out there really experiencing it, did you guys notice a difference in your legs and your stamina once you were actually out there?
I feel like we started off pretty good, pretty solid. Then towards the middle of the game, they started hitting shots. We weren't up on ball screens. I don't think it had anything to do with legs. I mean, obviously when you start playing a lot of minutes, you get tired regardless. But I just think that overall they were a sharper team than us today. They hit their shots, they ran their offense, and yeah, they're overall a better team.
Yeah, Kevin Brockway, CNHI Indiana. Trayce, this is going to be another offseason where you're going to have to make decisions about your future. What will be your timetable in that regard, and what are going to be some of the factors in terms of whether to return or go elsewhere?
I'm not really worried about that right now. Right now I'm just going to worry about just being with my teammates, just being in the moment. I'll talk to Coach Woodson like I did last offseason, and then we'll go from there. So preparation and everything that I do, but I'll have a plan and set, but there's no timetable right now.
Zach Osterman, Indianapolis Star. I guess for Trayce or Jordan, either one, but Trayce talked about they kind of started hitting some shots and things just maybe weren't sharp defensively. Just, I guess, what was it that you felt you couldn't get sharp again, that you couldn't just kind of find? Because you guys have been good at kind of adjusting to runs, particularly in the last few weeks, adjusting to teams' runs. What wasn't sharpening back up defensively, I guess?
I think just overall it was our defense. We've been really, really good on the defensive end of the floor, and tonight we just didn't have it. We didn't have that spark. I mean, we're letting guys dribble drive past us, screen and rolls, open layups, and just not being tough at the rim. It was just stuff of that nature where we make it hard for teams, and tonight they really dictated to us, and we didn't punch back.
Jim Coyle, Indiana Sports Beat. Jordan, you were a big part of the last few games for Indiana this year. What have you gained going forward that you can use?
I just gained, I guess, a lot of confidence in myself, just knowing that I'm able to provide and help my team win. And just being able to work with my team is always a good experience, and it was a good experience.
Trayce, Tom Bruce, Sports Illustrated, Indiana. I know it's just a 40-minute game, but can you talk to how well they played against you guys, though, too?
Yeah, I mean, I bet you that they started scouting us right when they saw when they were playing. We had a game to worry about it with Wyoming, so I think that they had a really, really good game plan going in. They doubled. They came from the backside in the post. They watched my spin-offs, and then we couldn't hit anything, and they were making their shots. So they had an excellent game plan, and they executed it very well. So it's props to them because they deserve to win that game.
Gracie Barr inside the hall. Coach Woodson, Coach Bennett said that he knows you won't use it as an excuse, but that you guys were dealt a really tough situation. Can you just speak to how proud you are of these guys in this last week, given the situation?
Again, I've never been a coach. You know, you guys don't know me that well. I've never been a coach that makes excuses. You know, I had to do better tonight to get these guys. You know, I mean, and I give St. Mary's all the credit, man, but I thought tonight we just didn't have it, and I know we're a much better team than we showed tonight, and that's on me. But traveling had nothing to do with it. I mean, it's what it is, man. We're happy to be in the big dance and getting this opportunity. So, you know, I can't point the finger at that. I thought that they were the better team tonight, man, because we were a step slow in everything we wanted to do from a defensive standpoint.
Andy Dekoff, Portland Tribune. My question's for Coach Woodson. As the first season wraps up, it may be a little too soon to have enough context on it, but what are your reflections just after your first full season now being at Indiana?
No, it was great to come back, man. I mean, my AD, Scott Dawson, giving me an opportunity to take this job on meant a great deal to me and my family and all the people that have supported me all these years at Indiana and just around the country, man. It was great. But it was all about these players, man. I mean, they made a commitment to let me coach them. And that meant more to me than anything, because going in blindly like I did, that wasn't the case. And, there was a lot of damage control that had to be done to get these guys on board, to give me an opportunity. So I have nothing but love for the 17 players, man, that I coached this season, because they put this program back in the fold in terms of being in the being in the big dance. That's what it's. So you got to give yourself an opportunity. You got to get there and give yourself a chance. And I thought they did that for us this season.
We're going to go to the Zoom room next. Tyler Tashman, go ahead.
Tyler Tashman with Inside the Hall. Trayce, I know you probably haven't had a whole lot of time to reflect on it yet, but just looking back on the season, what has just been your favorite part of it?
I just think overall just being with my guys and backs against the wall, going into the Big Ten tournament, and even being lower than we thought we were, and then beating Michigan, and then going and beating Illinois. And if we wouldn't have got the Illinois game, we probably wouldn't be here right now. So just seeing the Hoosier hysteria just around the state, I thought it was honestly it was a blessing to be a part of. And then just seeing our guys rally and just when adversity struck and just being able to just compete and just clawing our way back in and then making the big dance. I know it's not how we wanted to go out, but just it was an honor and blessing to be here. So I'm just proud of my guys for always fighting, and that was probably my favorite part.
Yeah, Mike Pegram from Peaks.com. Coach, how helpful is it for you in building the program to have at least gotten your younger guys a couple tournament games in the big dance and had that run in Indianapolis?
Well, it's huge. Moving forward, it's big time, because it gives them an opportunity to taste it and feel what it's really like. I mean, if you never get an opportunity to taste March Madness, man, it's not a good feeling. I'll tell you that. I went a few years where I didn't make the big dance, and it's a long summer. It's like relating to NBA playoff basketball. If you never give your team an opportunity to get in the playoffs, they'll never know what it feels like. And now these guys, they have a feel. They got this summer to go and work on things that can make them better as ball players and make us better as a team when they come back. So it's a lot of positive making the big dance this year for our program.
And Zach Osterman, Indianapolis Star. Mike, I guess to follow on from that, you've talked a couple times about pivoting these guys toward the offseason. What are maybe 2 or 3 things you really want them to hold tight to this offseason, things they might have learned from this season, ways that they can get better, things they can sort of build off of this year?
Well, again, a lot of it is, they're going to have to take the offseason, and I'm going to make every player watch every game that was played this year by the Hoosiers. And that's one way you go back and reflect and you learn. And I'll sit down and I'll have a program in place along with my trainer and Cliff, our strength coach, in terms of things I think that they need to work on to get better. I mean, that's how it's normally done. It's how I've always done it in the past with teams that I've coached in the past. So these guys are young, man, and they got a lot to learn in terms of basketball and how I want to play and the style of play that I want. So it's going to be work in progress, but that's what we all signed up for, and it's, we just got to get through that process and get them better for next season.
Last 2 questions will be here.
Jeff Rabjohns, Peaks.com. Mike, this is for you. What are the 3 or 4 areas that you feel you guys need to be better as far as play on the court? Is it shooting? What 3 or 4 things would you pick?
Well, shooting is a big part of it. I thought our defense carried us, guys, and we didn't shoot the ball extremely well this season. You guys know that. You watched us play. And we got to get better in that area. I'd be foolish to say we don't, because we do. And You know, we got to be better on the wings from a defensive standpoint. But you know, again, these are things that I got to go evaluate once I get back and sit with my coaching staff and just see where we are as a ball club and just start trying to piece it all back together for next season.
Last question.
Yeah, Coach Mike Schumann with the Daily Hoosier. You said you're going to have them go back and watch every game again. When they watch the games from these last 8 days, and specifically like the Illinois and the Michigan games, what do you think they can pull positive from those? What are you really proud of this team that they did in those games that really stood out and they can build on?
It's just the level of play. I mean, you know, I thought, excluding tonight's game, the Michigan game, the Iowa game, the Illinois game, they really forced us to really play at a high level, and that's how it should be. You know, I mean, you know, I flipped that. You know, teams shouldn't have to force you because, you know, you should develop a team that way that want to play at a high level. And I thought, you know, we were kind of in desperate mode coming into the tournament because we knew if we didn't win a game, and it took us 2 games to get in. I think if we had just won the Michigan game, I don't think we would have got in. I truly believe that. So, I mean, the pressure was really on this young team, and these guys stepped up and they did what they had to do to get us to this day. And so it's something to build on, man. It's all positive, I think, moving forward for our program, but we do have to get better.
Gentlemen, appreciate your time. Thank you, and congratulations on a great season.
Good job.
I'll grab him for you. I'll give him to JD. So, hey, thank you very much. Coach, thank you very much.